All right, happy Tuesday night, everybody. I think it's Tuesday. It looks like Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Tuesday's best day here in Raiderland. ESPN, hey, move the basketball game to another channel. It's early season November. Give us the college football rankings. All right, we're waiting on that tonight. Glad you are with us here in the Hat Creek Interior Studios. We're going to have a fine conversation tonight. We're going to look at the latest college football rankings and where Texas Tech shows up. Anything other than five would be shocking, good or bad. But anything other than five would be shocking in the college football playoff rankings for Texas Tech. We have that tonight. Uh, Huge favorites out there at West Virginia. You nervous, Tech fans? Tuesday's best. College football rivalries. What do you got for us tonight on that? And then your Thanksgiving sports traditions as a family. As a family, what do you do that is sports related? And I guess it can be watching games and everything else, but maybe you host your own games, you play a touch football game. I don't know what it could be. Sports related Thanksgiving family traditions. You tell us, all right? We're in the Hat Creek Interior Studios, custom furniture and accessories, the white glove service. They're putting customer service back in, like, not just like, oh, it's an awesome special thing. No, it's just what they do. It's what you should expect. That's what you get at Hat Creek Interiors. HatCreek.us if you're outside the Lupular regions in the 289 and you can't make it to their beautiful showroom. Go online. They ship to you. In three, in two. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com. It is Tuesday, Tuesday's best. On Tuesdays, we'll give you a topic. You give us your two best examples tonight. We got a ton of great college football rivalry games coming up here in the next few days. Give us your top two. Texas Tech doesn't have one anymore. Nobody worthy in the Big 12 of being rivals of the Red Raiders. Maybe in the coming years, some teams will elevate. They'll get better. They will be worthy of being a rival to Texas Tech. But for now, Texas Tech does not play a rivalry game. But you give me the two best. Also tonight, college football playoff rankings should be coming out here in the next, 10, 15, 20 minutes when ESPN gets around to dumping out. They should have dumped out of the Seton Hall game. Anyhow, we'll get that. Anything other than five, we got weirdness. Kind of want to see where Oregon is, Ole Miss. How are they handling this Ole Miss Lane Kiffin situation? On down the line, BYU, Miami, Notre Dame, things to pay attention to. You guys have the ability to pay attention to it in real time, and I can't. I can't watch it. I'm on with you live right now. So I'm relying on people like Don Williams at the AJ. I'm relying on you. I'm relying on James right there on the United Supermarkets chat line, who's going to be able to watch and tell me, hey, here are the rankings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I might be relying on Dylan. Shout out to the Elf, pride of Shallowater, Texas. New head coach, Oklahoma State Cowboys. Can he win there? Is he making a grave mistake leaving North Texas? And then Texas Tech basketball thoughts tonight as we go through anything else you tell us. Jump in on the United Supermarkets chat line. All right. We are brought to you by Gators Bayou, 98th and Slide Road in Lubbock, Texas. Hot Cajun food, ice cold drinks, tremendous TV selection. Game's going to be on. They're going to open up this weekend early. If you want to go watch the game there, I would suggest either the po' boy. I like the shrimp. Catfish is really good. Or Cajun pasta. Get what you like. Do what you want. Also by Fire and Ice Outdoor Living here in Lubbock, Texas. They're on Woodrow Road over there by the Cooper football stadium. And you go there and you go, holy crap. I had no idea. Smokers, grills, pellets. Anything you can imagine. They've got it. Go to their website, go to their Facebook page for Fire and Ice Outdoor Living in Lubbock, Texas. Good people, too. All right, let's get it started. You guys, like I said, I'm flying blind into the rankings. Texas Tech ought to be 5, and that's fine. I think that's exactly where they should be. You go into this weekend as a 24-point favorite. Anybody nervous on that? We asked that question earlier today. Huge favorites going into West Virginia. Does that make you nervous? Why or why not? And then the two best college football rivalry games. Which ones do you love? You tell me. JC Double T, Seton Hall, USC may be heading to OT, of course. Might be going to overtime. Might be able to watch it live. I hope not. How can you not? Seriously. You're ESPN. How can you not have contingency plans on this to say, if this game runs along, guess what? You get moved. I love college basketball. You get moved over to ESPN2, you get shoved down to whatever, and the college football rankings go live. ESPN, come on, you guys are brutal. Absolutely brutal on this stuff right now. Chris, Emo definitely, gotta go back up here. Emo definitely not making a mistake. Definitely not making a mistake leaving. He didn't want to Luttrell himself. As far as that will depend on OSU willing to spend more on it. All right, so the Seth Luttrell situation, when Chris Kleiman got that Kansas State job, Seth Luttrell at North Texas could have had it, but he wouldn't take it. They wouldn't give him whatever he wanted. There were rumors that, hey, you got to keep one of Bill Snyder's like grandsons or somebody on staff, blah, blah, blah. And he didn't take it. Now I'm going to take it. I'm certainly not saying Morris should not take the job. Yes. Either he had the Arkansas job or the Oklahoma State job. It looks like Oklahoma State. Can he win there? X's and O's? I have no reason to think he can't. The question becomes, was Oklahoma State not doing NIL because of Gundy or that they just don't have the money? I mean, that's the question, right? We were led to believe for years and years Oklahoma State had so much more money than Texas Tech. T. Boone Pickens and everything else up there. Well, we're about to find out. I wish him. I want him to do well. I mean, I have no reason to not want him to do well. I have no reason to want any coach to not do well for the most part. You got a coach from Muleshoe at USC. You got a coach from Shallowater now at Oklahoma State. West Texas is the best Texas. The cradle of coaches, one might say. Tyler, Twitter X, at Ryan Hyatt Media. Free. Subscribe. All of our platforms are free, by the way. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on YouTube, free. Hit like if you're watching there. Share it. Invite people in. We want 700 subscribers by the end of the weekend. Facebook, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, same thing. Tyler, yes, I'm nervous. We have not had a traditional Tech letdown yet, and waiting for the other shoe to fall, a la OU and almost Baylor 2007. Tyler, I don't know how old you are. I truly don't. What about this team makes you think it has anything in common with any past Texas Tech team? Do you know what Tech's record is against the spread this year? Tech, by the way, 24-point favorites right now. ATS against the spread. That means covering whatever Vegas throws out there and says that's the point spread and you win by more than that. Tech is 10-1 ATS. Do you know where that ranks, Tyler, nationally? I mean, it's not like in the top 20 or top 15 or top 10. It's freaking number one. No team has been better ATS this year than Texas Tech. This is not your traditional Tech team. This is not typical Tech. Good teams cover, as we say. Good teams win. Great teams cover. This is a great team. Ohio State 9-2, closest that you got to you when it comes to that sort of stuff. So we're hanging a 24 number out there right now on a Tuesday. I'm telling you right now, you don't need to be nervous. This is not your normal Texas Tech team. It's not even close to it. All right. So don't be nervous. Don't. Chris, we also have an official review going on, so it may be Wednesday before this starts. Jeff on our YouTube channel, Ryan Heights Raiderland. Not nervous about Saturday. This team seems to be different from the past. They take care of business and win a championship. I think Oklahoma State probably a better job than Arkansas. Chris on Facebook, that is a erudite statement that I think right now it's not a knock against the Big 12 and nothing to prop up the SEC. However, if you look at the Big 12 right now, Kansas State a little bit sideways. Kansas, whatever. Iowa State, you're doing okay. But you look at Texas Tech, and then it's BYU and Utah and Arizona State, the newcomers. Some of these old Big 12 teams need to elevate. There's a space in there for you, right? Arkansas is always going to be a tough job because they do not have a large recruiting footprint that is natural. And by being the SEC now, they've lost a lot of Texas that they used to have in the Southwest Conference. They can still get into Texas, but it's not like the old days. All right? Now, someone might be saying, well, okay, well, what about Oklahoma State? Can they get into Texas? Yeah, they can get into Texas still. You know? You got more Texas teams in the Big 12 than in the SEC, if that matters to a recruit. My point, though, in Arkansas is it's in a box, man. It is in a box. And when they brought Missouri in, right above you, into the SEC, and Missouri used to recruit in the upper Midwest, Chicago, back Illinois, back up in that direction. Missouri used to go that direction, much more so than they went south. They went more north. Now they can go south. So, Oklahoma State, a better job than Arkansas. When we say better job now, do we mean easier to win, better pay? I don't know. What is that? Jeff, OSU once again doing their best to beat Texas Tech, but good hire for them. JCTT, ESPN illustrating the absurdity of their college football playoff. Make zero mistake. ESPN runs college football playoff and the committee. If OSU can get off Matt, would be a rivalry one day. Another OSU theft of all things Tech. Tech has no rival. That's why we're asking tonight. Two best college football rivalries. What are they? Which are the games? Army-Navy, number one. That's it. Army-Navy, number one. It's the only game that we all care about, no matter what. We don't tune in and go, what are the records? We don't tune in and go, which bowl game are they going to? No, we tune in because we love Army-Navy. So then to me, it becomes, what's the second greatest college football rivalry? What is it? You tell me. I wish Tech had a rival. Texas Tech does not have a rival in football right now. Maybe someday some of the teams in the Big 12 will get better, be worthy. Ryan, I think OSU reverts to the mean and becomes upper middle tier Big 12. They have as many resources as most other Big 12 teams. Says Ryan on Facebook. Tyler on Twitter X, 39. That's all I've ever known. So until proven otherwise, we shall wait. All right, 39-year-old Tyler. Until proven otherwise, you shall wait. You hang on that cliff, all right, dude? My nose is like itchy. Chris, hoping we see Griffiths in the second half for all the right reasons. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, that would be tremendous if you could get up to about a 3-score lead in the first half, very similar to UCF. If you got that going, 3 to 4-score lead, you do get a little bit of style points, I think, on this one. Close it out, give them a good look going into the Big 12 title deal. But really, the style points are going to be beating BYU or whoever you get in the Big 12 title game. So get up 3, get them out, go get the win. Latest forecast still trending about 34, 35 degrees at kickoff. slight chance of precip, not snow, no wind. And to me, that's the best thing right now. If it's just cold and damp, that's a fast track. It's not going to affect you that much. When we get into the wet, and I'd rather have snow actually than rain, but we get into a cold rain that changes it up a little bit. But that's another reason why the spread's still 24. That the books and the sharp people are looking at this game going, all right, it's going to be cold, it's dank, it's not going to be horrible weather. You don't get the compression of talent because of the weather, and Texas Tech does what they should do. So yeah, you want Mitch Griffiths out there in the third quarter for sure. Meanwhile, Damon is on Facebook. No, that's YouTube. Sorry, red YouTube, blue Facebook. Oh, it seemed like it'd be the other way. I believe that OSU doesn't have the money because they have stolen everything they have from Tech. Chris, the rest of the Hateful Eight needs to pull their weight. Yeah, you got to get going. I mean, I've really been disappointed, kind of sad to see the interlopers out of the old Pac-10 jumping in here and just, other than Tech, come on, where are you guys? Chris, I mean, the John Denver Bowl is this Saturday. There's a rivalry. The battle for John Denver's body. No, that was John Brown's body. That's totally different reference that nobody on here is probably going to get tonight. That's okay. Yeah, John Denver. JC Double T, they're on YouTube. Army Navy always during finals back in the day. Yeah. Ohio State, Michigan, pretty salty for the bad Big Ten. Top football, college football rivalries, Army Navy. After that, do you go Auburn, Alabama, Texas A&M? I mean, there used to be Oklahoma, Nebraska. If you're my age, if you're in your 50s, Oklahoma and Nebraska was like that one growing up in the Southwest Conference that you'd wake up like Thanksgiving weekend and see that game, and it was always being played in a cold rain, either in Norman or Lincoln. And there they're running the wishbone. And the great thing about that game, it was over in an hour and a half. They threw 8 passes. It was over and done with. UCLA and USC was cool because back in the day, they got to wear their home uniforms. And now they do it again. That UCLA wears the light blue and USC wears the, maroon? Red? What do they call it? I don't know. But that was just out there. Really, no rivalry out west really intrigued me other than the Civil War between the Beavers and the Ducks. Ducks and Beavers, Civil War. Great name for a rivalry. Never really mattered for much. Then you get into all the rivalry games up in the Big Ten, and they play for jugs and trophies and axes and oxes and we don't know what. Weird stuff going up there in the Big Ten. We don't truly understand it anymore. Florida confuses everything because they got Florida State, Florida State versus Florida State, Miami versus Florida State, Miami versus Florida. Nobody can keep track. No one knows. We truly, they should really have they should have Florida State, Florida, and Miami play at the same time on one field. I would watch that, That would be interesting. The Egg Bowl, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, when it was played on Thanksgiving, mattered. My brother went to Mississippi State, Hell State, proud graduate. So I had a rooting interest in the Egg Bowl for years. Now it's just become another game where occasionally a player will act like a dog pissing on a fire hydrant. Give me your top 2 college football rivalries before we get out of here tonight. Texas Tech making you nervous, 24-point favorites. We've gone over why it shouldn't. And do we have rankings yet? Seriously, anybody? I can't watch. Is the basketball game over? Do we know where Tech is? You guys are ahead of me real time. Feel free. Jump in and let me know what's going on. As a native Texan, hold on, got to get this one on the screen. Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button. I'm like the producer, director, floor director, main control, and the anchor all at once on a TV station. Take that, David Collier. As a native Texan, I'm partial to UTA&M, but that game was much better played on Thanksgiving night. I agree, Jeff. And I mean, we paid attention to it. You didn't. I didn't care who won for the most part growing up. I didn't like either of them, so it didn't really matter. I guess from a rooting standpoint, maybe the underdog in that game, but again, it was more like you watched it. You know, you watched the game. You didn't necessarily invest yourself into the outcome or care. Robert Christopher gets in on Facebook. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Facebook, free. YouTube, free. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Twitter, always free. At Ryan Hyatt Media. While we're waiting, we have properly discussing the awesome awkwardness of having J-Rod live and in person on Big Noon Kickoff at Cincy. Why was that awkward and why was that weird? It was beautiful. It was wonderful. It was a great example of why Fox is a much better corporate partner than ESPN that the Big 12 has ever had, that they flew him up there, that they wanted him a part of it, that they were promoting him for Heisman, that they were promoting Texas Tech, promoting their product. I think what we saw last week with that was just a great example of why Fox is 10 times better for the Big 12 than ESPN has ever been or ever will be. Lay it on me. Suck it. To me, Michael on YouTube channel. I'm only a little nervous about the Tech game because I really think Arizona State is going to beat Arizona. Well, yeah, they probably will. Nothing about anything that has happened or will happen changes. Texas Tech has to beat West Virginia if they want to, at the very least, host a playoff game, let alone make the Big 12 title game or anything else. You've got to get this game. Nothing changes. You've got to win. So if you got to win, you might as well win big. Cover the spread. Go 11-1 ATS this year. Be cover legends. They'll be talking about this Texas Tech game in the sports betting world for decades to come. Remember that year Texas Tech went 11-1, and they were hanging up numbers like -24, -31, minus this, minus that. I mean, these ain't been small numbers that they've been covering. Small. It's small. You're small. Nothing changes. You got to beat. You got to win. And you got to look good. Nothing changes if you want to certainly be a protected top 4 seed. But it's either here's what it's all or nothing right now for Texas Tech. Beat West Virginia, win the Big 12 title game, and be the 3rd seed in the tournament, playoffs. Or you lose either game, you don't host a game in the college football playoffs, you might not be in. So there's no in between on this thing. It is all or nothing. So go win. Chris, I always enjoyed the Egg Bowl when it was on Thanksgiving. If I already read that, I apologize. Meanwhile, fake Natalie Maines, got about 7 or 8 minutes left with you guys tonight. I know you're sharing this, spreading it out there in the world of broadcasting. Please, if you're watching, is the game over? I am flying blind here in the office tonight because I can only put up one window that I feel confident about not crashing the system. Do we have the rankings yet? Somebody give me the rankings. Dang it, Don. Told him to text me when it was. I don't have that text. Fake Natalie Maines, who may or may not be the real Natalie Maines. Hyatt, first-time listener, long-time texter. We've appreciated the text messages for years. Trust me, they've been tremendous. As we approach the time of giving, I welcome all your viewers to consider donating to Tots for Tots. I got to read this before. Colorado, Nebraska. All right, just making sure that wasn't anything weird. Fan of Colorado, Nebraska back in the day, especially when they played at Folsom. Just so you know, love you. Yeah. So when Bill McCartney takes over Colorado in the '80s and gets them back into a national realm, Salinasi, Cordell Stewart, that era, right through there. I would say probably like 88, 89, 90, maybe the best Colorado Nebraska games. Colorado OU was good, but Colorado Nebraska was better. And that was one of those games. Again, they always play in the rain, right? Cold, freezing, freaking rain. My dad coached at Tascosa High School in the early 70s. One of the greatest running backs at Colorado, a guy named James Mayberry. You can look him up if you don't know. He was my first sports hero as a little kid growing up. That James Mayberry was the man at Tascosa in the early 70s, and then went to Colorado. And I didn't understand why he didn't go to Texas Tech. Made no sense to me. Had a nice little NFL career coming out of Colorado. James Mayberry, everybody. Joseph, Big 12 goes out of its way to not have rivalries less painful when Tech leaves the conference. Wow. There's a lot of stuff going on right there. Out of the way not to have rivalries. Well, I think this weekend they've tried to set up some of the games. But yeah, this weekend needs to be the finishing whatever rivalry thing we got play on this weekend. All right? And we don't have much. Tyler, I agree with you, Army Navy. Not much better period. I miss Texas and A&M. Thanksgiving Day, any more OSU, Michigan, or the Iron Bowl, pretty good regardless of records. Had a Spanish professor at Tech in 1989, and he had taught at Auburn previously. And going into this weekend, he said, we would not have a final if Auburn won. Show starting now. Who freaking won the game? Seton Hall? Show about to start. We're not going to be on long enough to recap it or get any real-time information, probably. Florida. Randy Wade is in the house on Facebook. Florida also has Georgia line, the world's largest cocktail party. Anything can happen in that line of demarcation. I'm also a big fan of Georgia Tech, like an NHL hockey game with the original six, the 06. Lots of fights, and last year it went to 3 overtimes. Yeah. Vince Dooley, Wally Butts, great coaches over the years. Both teams, the Rambling Wreck from Georgia, Technological Institute. Yeah. Ryan, I'm not a fan of the NFL playing on Friday. Prefer it to be a college day. What is that? They tried to stop people from recording this, but I got it. Well, look at that guy right there, everybody. He, whatever it was, and he got it, and there you go. Notre Dame, USC, unfortunately going away. The only national rival. Dude, you are so caught up in your Notre Dame just stupidity, Robert. No, I don't even think it's a national rivalry, really. It's a Midwest and West Coast rivalry. Army Navy's the only national rivalry. Period. Innocent. That's it. Army Navy, not Notre Dame USC. Notre Dame USC hasn't mattered in so long. They played like 4 meaningful games in the last 30 years. ESPN kicks off show slamming Utah for getting down 12, of course. Really? Oh. Awkward for the fans of the host school, but I agree it was awesome. I don't know what we're referring to, but yeah, there we go. Randy, the Fox pregame show is much better product than game day. I agree. I rarely watch game day. Much better analysis, X's and O's. versus all the Rudy fluff type stuff ESPN does. I agree. Arizona State jumps to 20. Arizona at 25. JC updating right now. About to announce Texas Tech. They're on 10 to 15. Are they? Better not be. All right, I know what you're saying right now. Move Michigan up 3 spots, of course, to 15. Yeah, they got to set it up. They got to set it up with Ohio State. Utah dropped below Miami. Not good. Not good there. 12 Miami, 13 Utes. At least it's only 1 Ute and not 2 Utes. Do you think Tech will focus on running the ball on Saturday? Depends on the weather. I think they should always focus on running the ball. BYU 11. BYU 11, Utah 13. Look at this. You guys are good. Bama 10, Notre Dame 9. Which is the biggest Big 12 rivalry game? Utah, BYU, Arizona State, Arizona. Utah, BYU. Better teams, better games consistently, the Holy War. The trash known as OU at 8. And Texas Tech stays at 5. Jeff reporting Texas Tech still at 5, ahead of Oregon and Ole Miss. Ole Miss down to 7, Oregon 6, Tech 5. All right, so that was the big thing that everybody was looking at is where were they going to put Oregon? So they move Oregon up. And now they got the game against Washington. And it gives them a reason to move Oregon past Texas Tech or into the top 4. They've set up 2 teams. Yeah, Tech at 5, Tech at 5, where they should be. Not shocked. Would be shocked if they weren't there. Did they ever catch the 2 Utes? So what they've done is they put Tech and Oregon into position to move them up here in the next 2 weeks after the conference title championship games. All right. That Indiana and Ohio State, somebody's got to off each other. SEC, somebody's got to beat each other. Texas Tech goes 2-0, looks good. I still believe they are setting them up to go 3. Oregon has the problem of the 2 teams ahead of them in their own league. The advantage Tech has at 5. That's why I keep saying Tech at 5 is 3. 2 Big Ten teams, 2 SEC teams, 2 get dropped down. Big 12 champ Tech moves up, 1 loss, major, they go to 3. All right. Big Ten winner, SEC winner, Tech. That 4 spot now could be Oregon. No, that's it. It could be Oregon, or it's going to be the highest ranked SEC or Big Ten team that they give them that latitude. And I don't know what they're saying regarding the top teams and everything else, but I'm telling you, that's what they're doing. That's what they're staging by doing this. Because they really want to be able to say, if Texas Tech wins out, see, it's not just all about the SEC and the Big Ten, that if you win your conference and you're dominant like Texas Tech and you go 11-1 against spread and win, defeat it, you guys get it, right? You guys understand. I went to Arizona State a few years ago. Fans really got into it. Yeah, they hate each other. But, I mean, West Texas State and Western Colorado hate each other. You're now 100% locked if you beat West Virginia. You were 100% locked. No. You're 100% locked. If you win Saturday, if you go to the Big 12 title game, you're in. It's just a matter of if you lose, do you fall to 10, 11, or 12, all right? I don't think that was even being discussed. You got to win, though. Texas Tech versus Tulane in the hub. Interesting. Tech will not be 5th no matter what. No matter what, Texas Tech will not be 5th in the final rankings. They'll either move up to 3, or if they lose, Now, if they lose Saturday, all bets are off. If they lose in the Big 12 title game, they go to 10. Texas Tech will not be fifth in the final rankings, no matter what. Not possible. They will not be fifth. All right. You guys understand that. We talked about that for like 2 or 3 weeks now. JC Double T, exactly what they're doing. You nailed it. Committee just set table for 3 or 9th. Okay. Yeah. Uh, 12 isn't in. 12 isn't in though because the ACC champ and G5 team get in, so you need to be top 10 for at large. Well, if Texas Tech wins Saturday, loses to BYU in the title game, they will be in. You will have a 2-loss Texas Tech team in. You're going to be in. Nobody's guaranteed anything now beyond the one. You'd squeeze out anything on that, so don't worry about that. 3, 10, or 11. There you go. Tech gets into top 4. Are they a lock for the Cotton Bowl? Yeah. Oh, 100%. That if they're 3, they're going to be playing in the Cotton Bowl. Totally. Totes my goats going to be playing in the Cotton Bowl. But you got to win Saturday. And you got to win again against some pretty stinking good teams. Cotton Bowl is played at Jerry World, not at the Cotton Bowl Stadium. So you don't have to worry about that. But yes, the Cotton Bowl itself, stadium, is still a dump. Besmirches the great state of Texas. Hate to see it the way it is these days, but Doak Walker ain't alive no more. All right, we went over time tonight. You guys did a good job breaking it down. Coming in live, hot on that. That's good. We will be with you in the morning on the website. What If Wednesday, alt history in its own self. We give you a question. You tell us how history would be different if it played out differently. I want you guys to do a couple of things. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on YouTube. Hit like, hit share, bring people in. Same thing on Facebook, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, and share, invite people in. On Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. On the website, theraiderland.com. We're about to archive this. Then you can share it wherever you want to. Invite your friends in and tell them we're going to be here all weekend long. We are just getting this thing started this weekend. We will be here all week long. All right. And of course, Raiderland Rewind, Saturday afternoon, brought to you by Live Life Well Clinic of Lubbock, Texas. Check out Dr. John Skelton's site there, Live Life Well Clinic. I want you to live well in 2026, but we don't want you to wait until then. Get started now. Check out all the stuff they do there at Live Life Well Clinic. I got to hit a couple of buttons to end this thing. You guys share it. You guys were y'all are really good tonight. You're really good tonight. I appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow, theraiderland.com.